Several sailors were killed as a result. At that time, the ship was principally saved by the efforts of the executive officer stuffing blankets in the open hole and saving the ship. And that executive officer happened to be none other than Franklin Delano Roosevelt Jr., the son of the president. Let's move on from there. The Atlantic found its time that the battle has been pretty well done, and Germany is about ready to give up. So going through the Panama Canal, the ship arrived at the Pacific for doing its duty there. There again, there is a disappointment. Although I attended the shores of several of the islands, such as Iwo Jima, Peleliu, Guam, Okinawa, and Saipan. All of the bloody battles have been done, and therefore, Colonel, I don't have a good story to tell about any heroic escapades of mine. But celebrating the Memorial Day is a time not only of honoring those that have given themselves in duty and in offering their lives, it is also a time of revisiting the history of our glorious country. You say that these children might not know much or care much about history, but let me take you back 240 years. There is a group which is meeting in the sweltering heat of a hall in the Pennsylvania State House in Philadelphia. That group is hammering out what is to be the law of the land for the citizens of the United States, which has just come into being. And after finally reaching a conclusion, Benjamin Franklin is about to leave the conclave and go to his place of residence, where he can finally eliminate the perspiration, the stench of the perspiration that he has encountered during the construction of the Constitution. On his way out, he is approached by Mrs. Elizabeth Powell, and she asks him, "Dr. Franklin, what are we going to have? Is it to be a democracy or a monarchy?" Without hesitation, Dr. Franklin says, "A Constitution Republic, if we can keep it." And we have by and large kept it throughout the years in its original state, plus some additions of the Bill of Rights to further define what is to be the course of the country. And that has gone on for many years, but then in the mid-19th century, there is another conclave in the halls of Congress. There they are discussing, arguing, complaining, and trying to decide what to do about the enslaved person of color. They were not able to do their duty, which resulted in the splitting of our great nation, our God-given nation, and the result was the bloody happening of the Civil War, which went on for 4 years. Finally, at the conclusion of that time, 1 year after President Lincoln had been assassinated, a bunch of women decided to honor their dead husbands, fathers, brothers, cousins, and decided to go to the cemetery where they were laying in graves and plant flowers and flags. And that is the beginning of our celebration here today, which was called the Declaration of
Decoration Day.
the dedication, pardon me. I'm not used to this sort of thing. So, from then on, let's move forward to the present time. There are people that are meeting together in conclaves called the representatives in Washington, the people that we elected to do our job for us. And let's take a look at what is happening there. Once again, the soldiers, the military people of the nation are called upon to go to the southern border and assist in controlling and putting out a happening down there at the border concerning immigration. Why are they there? Because possibly those people in our Congress have failed to do what their job we have elected them to do. How can we change this situation? My humble opinion is there are two ways. First of all, instead of being content with only 15 to 20% people going to the polls to elect the people who are to represent us in Congress, let's try to achieve 100% participation of those who are legally entitled to vote. And secondly, which is the harder part of the task that we must put before ourselves, and that is, as we put pen to the ballot, think, is this person that I'm going to vote for, is he someone that will keep the fires, the lamps burning in Congress, paying attention to the problems of the nation, getting along with one another, or are they the people who are using this time to go out and obtain funding, the approval of candidates, to lengthen their stay in Congress? And that task is before them, hardly before the tallying has been done on the voting. I say, be very careful, be diligent, and with me, pray to our Lord that has made this the great nation that it is, that the proper choices are made, and that we can say to Dr. Franklin, we are here today to make the claim, we are ready to continue with our constitutional republic. The time has not come to give in. We are here to lay claim to another 240 years of not letting the Constitution lapse, to all people that would tend to overthrow it. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Mr. Don Dodge, who is a veteran of